Hello, twisted humans.
Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting?
Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast. This is episode 192. And as promised, I have an unsolved case for you today. And I can't really give a whole lot of a teaser without just kind of getting straight into it, but it's old-timey, it's unsolved, it's honestly my worst nightmare. But before we get into that, Sierra, do you have a fun fact for us?
I do have a fun fact. It's just a cute little adorable thing that I learned recently. Cute and sad at the same time. Sad part is that the hazel dormouse is an endangered species. Okay, sad. Adorable little tiny mouse that lives in the trees. Okay, little
Yeah.
dormouse. The
Googling it
adorable
right now.
thing is that because it's endangered, and the reason it's endangered is because it lives in trees, and trees keep getting cut down. They don't ever come down on the ground, so they go from tree to tree to tree. They have made in the UK dormouse bridges to link one area to the next area so that they can visit other neighborhoods to help stop extinction, maybe my soulmate is in that neighborhood. I need a bridge to get over there. It is adorable. And it just reminds me of
especially when you're that big. Just every second counts, man. Oh, it does remind me of fairy life.
It's
I agree
adorable.
with you on that. They're so cute.
They are.
Ridiculous. Holy shit. That makes me so sad.
They get their own bridges.
Guys, stop cutting down trees. Where are the dormice supposed to go? Them sleeping is ridiculous. I need to move on. Otherwise, I'm going to find a way to live among them.
They're just so cute.
They are really cute. My fun fact is less cute. And it is that horses cannot breathe through their mouths, which is not really something I've thought of before.
I have 100% seen a horse go.
Yeah, that's not breathing.
But I mean, it's blowing out air.
Yeah, no.
So they in through their nose, out through their mouth?
No, they in through their nose, out through their nose. They cannot breathe through their mouths at all.
Some sort of air is coming out of their mouth.
Well, I don't think
How do you spell?
That's literally what I was just thinking. I think it's like when people sigh.
Yeah, but when you're sighing, that is air coming out of your mouth.
They can only breathe through their nostrils. There's a soft palate that is a flap of tissue that separates the mouth from the pharynx. So it's in place except when swallowing or exerting air. But it's not like a breathing. When swallowing...
So it's in through their nose. They're breathing in through their nose, but out through their mouth. And
out through their nose. They can go... But that's not breathing.
I think what they mean by breathing is in. Breathe in. Because exerting air means breathing out.
They're nasal breathers, meaning they can only breathe through their nostrils.
Yeah, but I think breathing in this sense is when you... That's a breath. Take a breath. Now let it out. I think letting it out is not breathing.
Yeah,
so this makes sense now.
I don't know.
They just breathe better than us.
I don't know. I'm only a mouth breather, so I'm just really jealous.
Listen, every time I've ever exercised or had someone exercising me, it's always, you need to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Horses got it down, okay?
I don't think they're breathing out of their mouth, though.
I think all of the words you just said means breathing out of your mouth.
Of their mouth. I don't know. That's what it says. There's literally a flap of tissue that makes it so they can't get air out of their mouth.
Get air in their mouth.
Or out.
I don't believe you.
I don't know. We need to Google this more. I was looking deeper into this fun fact before it caused a domestic dispute between Sierra and I. So
I just want to know.
I know, I don't get it either. But the epiglottis sits on top of the soft palate in their mouths and blocks airflow from the mouth to the trachea and the lungs. So when they're making that noise, it's them moving that soft palate, but it's not capturing oxygen in any way or carbon dioxide.
I know it's not capturing it. I'm saying it's
Why
letting it go.
do horses it's an association with something being signaled. It's not like a sigh. It's a sign of equine intelligence. If horses hear words over and over and over again in association with something like being signaled or given a command, that's their way of acknowledging you. That's hilarious.
Okay.
Oh, I thought they were just really exasperated with our bullshit. Interesting. I've learned a lot about horses' skeletal system today. Uh,
Why?
because there was a map
Okay.
on if any of you spend a lot of time around horses, please let us know. Please help us understand. But that said, one thing I do understand is a White Russian, which today's episode pairs well with. Now
Are
I
you
am
drinking out of a
actually
mug?
yes. So I thought I had Kahlua. I did not, or any other coffee liqueur. So I had to brew a very strong coffee to make the coffee part of this with the vodka, and I was afraid to put it in a wine glass because I was worried about it cracking. So it's in a mug. There's more coffee than I care to admit in here, so it is like a beige Russian at this point, but it's still tasty. It's just an awkward temperature. So, and I am drinking it out of a very special mug. I um it will be my something positive or something that I want to share with you at the end of the episode. But
Okay.
um you can make a White Russian with milk, and the reason why I specifically chose a White Russian is because apparently milk is Virginia's state drink, and that is where my episode today takes place. So, it is a coffee liqueur, vodka, and milk. Super simple, super tasty. It's one of Sierra's favorites. If you want to go non-boozy, you can make an iced latte,
Yeah.
which
Or
mine
you
is kind
can
of an awkward combination of the two.
go super bougie.
Ooh,
Okay. With my whipped cream on top. All right.
what did you make?
So I found
It looks
a
so
recipe
tasty.
online for a mocktail
Mhm.
of
Equivalent.
a White Russian. Yeah. And so this is really weird. It is cream soda instead of vodka, milk, and coffee. And I use decaf coffee. So cream soda instead of vodka. I don't know how it tastes yet. We'll see.
Please tell us. We'll pause for dramatic effect here, because that's crazy to me.
It's pretty good. It's very creamy. Like it works. It works really well.
Okay. Okay. See, I appreciate you going that extra mile and looking at that, because I would have never thought of that. In my head, I just thought omitting the alcohol, add the coffee,
Yeah.
iced latte. But that is perfect. Mine is an awkward in between, but it is giving me life because there is caffeine in it. So I will call it a win. Mine is not as sweet as a normal White Russian would be for that reason, because I didn't make. Because Kahlua is a little bit sweet compared to like just straight iced Americano. So
That's why
not as
the
sweet.
cream soda
Cream soda
works.
is the key. If I
Yeah.
had cream soda right now, I'd go dump it in here, but I do not. So we're still gonna keep trucking though. So the only other cocktail that I could think of was a paralyzer that includes milk, and that's just gross, and no one should do that ever. And if that is a drink that you enjoy, I respect your choices, but no. And so cheers if you're drinking, if you're not drinking. And we will get right into this unsolved episode after a quick break to hear a promo from Crime to Burn. And we will be right back. Bum, bum, bum. All right. No yawning. You and your decaf over there. It's contagious.
9 o'clock at night.
I know, I slept like shit last night too, so I'm just like, eh. So on Saturday, March 2nd, 1996, at around 7:30 in the morning, Alicia Showalter Reynolds, living in Baltimore, Maryland, said goodbye to her family and left to spend the day shopping with her mom in Charlottesville, Virginia. Alicia was 25 years old and a grad student at the time, and she had about a 2.5 hour drive ahead of her, but she left early, giving herself plenty of time to be at the mall to meet her mom at 10:30. Alicia's mother arrived at the mall shortly before 10:30, expecting that her daughter would be right behind her at any moment. But when Alicia was late, she started to worry. By 11:15, Sadie Showalter listened to her gut and called her son-in-law Mark. Mark tried not to let the worry get the best of him and urged Sadie to wait a little bit longer. Since it was bad weather, when Alicia had left that moment, left that morning, she likely had to slow down on her commute there. And if she didn't show up soon, to give him a call back. And remember, these are the days before cell phones, so if she did have any car trouble, it would have taken her time to get in contact with either her mother or her husband.
Bad weather. 2-hour drive in bad weather. That's scary.
Yeah, not great. So Sadie continued to wait. An hour passed, then 2, but Alicia never showed up. She knew in her heart that something was very wrong. At 6 p.m. that evening, Virginia state troopers would find Alicia's car abandoned along the highway near Culpeper, Virginia, which was about 50 miles from the shopping mall that she was going to meet her mom. A white paper napkin had been tucked under the windshield wiper, which was a commonly used signal for the time for car troubles. Because again, people would see it and stop versus like having to hike to the nearest gas station and call for help.
Yeah.
Right. So I learned that was a sign of the times. When the car was examined, though, there was no mechanical problems at all. Her car was completely fine. The next day, the local news began broadcasting reports of Alicia's disappearance. Police set up a roadblock near where Alicia's car was found, hoping to track down people who may have seen something that day. And at least 3 people claimed that they saw Alicia talking to a clean-cut white man with a dark-colored pickup truck on the side of the road. So additionally, and perhaps most hauntingly, close to 20 women called in to the police to say that they had recently been approached on the highway by a man fitting that exact description. Police began to realize that whatever had happened to Alicia might have been in the works for a while as some sort of ruse.
Oh,
According
no.
to Special Agent Thomas Carter of Fredericksburg, Virginia, quote, most of the witnesses talked about a man who would come up behind them or beside them in the dark, a small pickup truck, flashing his headlights, honking his horn, looking in as a way to try and attract their attention. Most of the women that did do that had some concern for their vehicle, and he did manage to pull them off to the side of the road.
Oh, that's
He
scary.
immediately jumps underneath the vehicle, conducts an examination, and comes out and engages in a very polite conversation about the mechanical difficulties that he's allegedly uncovered. End quote. Haunting. Absolutely fucking haunting. My worst
Well,
nightmare.
super scary because I have had a flat low tire on more than one occasion,
And
and
somebody's
someone
gotten your
told me
attention.
while
Me
I was
too.
and I pulled over.
Yeah.
Good thing that person wasn't a fucking terrible
Murderer.
human. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
At that point, the helpful stranger would offer to drive the woman to the nearest phone, and at least 2 women accepted his offer, and nothing happened to them. Other women found that the stranger was not exactly courteous. Some women wouldn't pull over for him, but merely went to the next exit or directly to their destination and had somebody else look at their vehicle. The instances that he wasn't able to get the person to pull over, he would become agitated because they refused his assistance or refused to pull over. And in those instances, there was a display of anger, such as him pounding his fist on the steering wheel or murmuring something under his breath.
What the fuck?
Rick Jenkins, with the Virginia State Police, believes that the stranger was working up the courage and practicing this ruse to try and find the right woman. 1 week before Alecia disappeared, a woman driving in a neighboring county fell for this same trick. She said that from the first moment she met him, he was soft-spoken, he seemed to be very trustworthy, and she knew that she was going to need a ride home, so she accepted his help. As they were driving along the road, though, he would slow down and make an excuse that he couldn't see because of the vehicle's lights behind him. So he would pull off to the side of the road, let the vehicle pass, wait a minute, and then pull back onto the road. He did this 3 separate times. With each time that he pulled over, the woman started to get a bad feeling. So the next time he pulled over, she fought him, and he pushed her out of the vehicle. But she wasn't completely out of the vehicle in that her shoulder was still tucked underneath the seatbelt, so she was dragged slightly before being released.
Oh my goodness.
She did break her ankle, but she believes that her instincts saved her life that night, because 7 days later, Alicia Reynolds also fell for this, it seems. On May 7th, 1996, 2 months after Alecia disappeared, her body would be found in a wooded area 15 miles southeast of Culpeper, where her vehicle was abandoned, and it was likely that she had been murdered that same day that she disappeared and put inside of a shallow grave.
Jeez.
Since Alecia, no more reports of this mystery man were heard, leading investigators to believe that after her murder, the man fled the scene and is likely in another community trying to use the same ruse. At the time, commonalities of the women that came forward indicated that the man went by the name Larry Breeden, or that is a fake name that he used more than once. He had reddish-brown hair, and he pushed his hair back often with his left hand. He was Caucasian in his 30s to 40s, driving a dark pickup truck. Virginia State Police investigators continued to actively pursue any leads in the homicide of Alicia Showalter Reynolds, and nearly 3 decades after she was last seen alive still. If you have any leads or encounter similar stories, you are asked to contact the Virginia State Culpeper Division at 1-800-572-2260. Now, Alicia's siblings believe that the composite sketch of the man that was put together by the witnesses that came forward having spoken to the man look an awful lot like a younger version of a man named Rex Heuermann. Rex was arrested in 2023 and identified as the Gilgo Beach killer. At the time, Rex was living as an
Oh my
architect
god.
in Massapequa Park on Long Island with his wife and kids. And this was about a 6-hour drive from where Alicia was picked up. The woman believed to be his first victim disappeared in November of 1993. So it is a possibility in the timeline in 1996 because he wasn't caught until 2023. Rex claims that he is innocent of murdering anyone, let alone the people that he was convicted of killing. And he was charged with 7 of his accused 11 murders. Barbara, Alicia's younger sister, noted how she had given up hope of finding her sister's killer years ago, but when she noticed the resemblance between Rex and the police sketch, Barbara has urged investigators to delve deeper into a potential connection.
Okay, so you're going to show us this, right?
Yes. All of the articles are from late 2023, so if anything has been found, it has not been released, and it could be a part of something larger. Honestly, I hope that it was him because that would mean that the sicko is no longer at large out there. But there are a lot of shitty people out there, as we know. So head on a swivel, everybody, and thank the aliens for cell phones.
Seriously, that's what I was thinking this whole time.
I hope Alicia's murder is solved one day and that her family gets the answers that they deserve. And that is the unsolved murder of Alicia Showalter Reynolds. And yes, I am going to show you the police sketch and the photo of Rex side by side. Keep in mind, when he was arrested, he was in his 60s. But I do see it. So this is him in trial for the Go-Go Beach murders. Right? More jowly now because he would have been in his 30s to 40s then and in his 60s here.
That is
It's
like
unsettling.
it's almost too similar. Like was there a glitch in the Matrix or something? You know what I mean? Like how can
Yeah,
someone look the same that much like 30
especially
years
this one,
later?
like the front.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like it.
creepy. Also uh, it's fucking 2025. Police are communicating to each other, right? Like
Yeah,
how have they not put this together?
I
How
don't
have they
know.
not checked into this?
I don't know, but I personally believe that Rex is responsible for more murders than just the accused 11 in the Gilgo Beach area. So if it was him, hypothetically, he could have had this urge, wanted to hurt a woman, but then started to get nervous that all of these women likely had families that they were going back home to and switched to women in the sex trade because they're considered less dead with the Gilgo
Right.
Beach murders. So it's like, I don't know. Or it could just be somebody totally different, but who was known as the Highway 29, the Route 29 stalker. And the like that sketch and him look exactly the same to me. I understand why her family is like, whoa.
The Gilgo Beach, his first victim you said was in 1993,
Yeah.
and that was in the Gilgo Beach area.
It was in the New Jersey area.
So
He is
the
known to
theory is
travel.
that in 93 he was home, in 94 he was traveling, and then he went back home.
Guess so.
I wonder.
But like 6 hours isn't that far. I don't know. It scares me a little bit. It seems, but it also could be like too easy of a connection because the family is wanting answers, right? So
Yeah.
who knows? But either way, that ruse of getting women to pull over on the side of the road has obviously been used before. Um, Men use it with police officers, they use it for this kind of stuff. Like we've been known to have suspicions when somebody tries to be a good old boy and help you out, right? So it's like I have had people flag me for having low air in my tires and my car be totally fine. I had a guy that said my tail light was out and tried to like pull me over, and I got out and I looked and I was like, my tail light's totally fine. Why did you pull me over? And I got back in my car super quickly and drove to my boyfriend's house at the time. But I'm like, I don't know, it's just unsettling. Ugh.
Yeah.
That ruse has been used before. I hope that they're still uncovering some things because I know that they are still searching his house. He was known to keep trophies as well, but as of the last article that I read for my research, nothing was found in connection to Alecia in his house. But that doesn't mean that there isn't DNA to be tested. So
It
we
feels
shall see.
like a stretch to me for someone who lived and operated in that area with this MO to leave that area with a different MO and then go back. But
I agree.
those fucking pictures are the
Scary.
sketches are fucking scary.
That's what
Like
gives me reasonable doubt.
like
Yeah.
if it's not him, he has a doppelganger. Like
That
for
is
real.
doing equally shitty things in another state.
Exactly. And I wonder it makes me wonder if like faces are an issue. I don't know. I don't know. That scares me now.
I know, it's unsettling. That's why I
Yeah.
needed to cover it. So, Alicia's story is pretty infamous. I'm pretty sure it was an unsolved mystery at one point since this lead, like the old unsolved mysteries, like 1990. Because her face looks so familiar to me, I'm pretty sure it was featured on Unsolved Mysteries. Because when I looked at a picture of her husband and her, I'm like, her husband looks like a boy child. I need to show you him.
Oh.
He's like, he was cleared right away because he was far away from where her car was, but like Alicia Showalter's husband. Of course, he's not even looking at the screen. He just looks like a little kid. No, I can't. I can't find one where he's looking up. Maybe it wasn't that episode. Never mind. Never mind. I stand corrected. But yeah, it scares me too. Stay safe, people.
It is so scary because
Question
it's
everything.
like something so simple like that. Like the few times that I have been flagged out, I did. My tires were low. And I was glad that someone told me, because what if my tire popped? You know what I mean? Like it could have been really bad. I'm so glad someone told me so that I could pull over and get it fixed. But also it's like people use good things for evil. Like, hey, I'm trying to help you.
Where it
Just
makes you
kidding.
want
Now
to
I'm gonna kill you.
question. Yeah,
Yeah, that's so sad.
I agree.
Ugh,
Her
what a
cause of
world.
death was not listed anywhere. I think that they are holding that close to home because that's something that only the killer would know.
Yeah.
But mind you, again, that's been, not to sound pessimistic at all, but it's been 25 years, pretty
It's
much.
been 30 years.
30 years, 30 years. I can do
Yeah.
math.
My sister's 30.
Oh yeah. So that's really scary. So I mean, I doubt that somebody would do that often in the same area and then just stop. Like they had to have moved on to somewhere
Yeah,
else.
that's the weird part, is it seems like they have moved on to somewhere else, but also, like you said, he could have moved on to New Jersey and changed his MO because, oh, these people will have families. People are looking for them, so I need to do this to people who don't. I get that. If the first one wasn't in 1993, that's what makes it a stretch for me, is like, why would he start one way, switch directions, and then go back?
Yeah,
That's confusing.
I
But
agree.
still, the
Again,
fucking pictures. Oh my
glitch in
god.
the Matrix?
Yeah, what
I don't know.
happened?
I don't know.
I don't like it.
I thought you would be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So yeah, I do hope that there are answers at some point for her family because her
Yeah.
siblings are still waiting, and that's really sad to me.
Super
That's my
sad.
unsolved murder. That's my personal anecdote. Stay safe, everybody. I feel like we just talked about this with police, like people impersonating police officers and like pulling to the next exit. But if they're claiming something's wrong with your car, like, yeah, that is scary. You like
Yeah, it
either
kind of makes
don't
you scared to
trust
keep
them.
driving.
Yeah, you either don't trust them and keep driving and something actually does happen, or you do trust them and something bad happens.
Yeah.
Why? Why do we have to soil good
If you're gonna
Samaritans?
go on a long road trip, get your vehicle inspected before you leave, okay? And maybe not like inspected at the inspection place, but like, by your own eyeballs. Make sure your tires are full of air. Make sure, you whatever. I don't know. Inspect your own vehicle and shit so other people can't tell you something's wrong. Make sure all your lights are working. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um before you go.
yeah,
And if it's a short trip, if you're going to pull over at a shopping center or something. Somewhere where there's a lot of people.
yeah,
Somewhere where you can scream for help.
yeah. But that's the scary part too. Is like broad daylight, side of the
Yeah.
road. Like multiple people saw them talking.
Yeah, but side of the road is
Oh,
as
true, because
much
he took her to
as
another location. Like she got in his truck to
right.
go to the
Right.
phone. Yeah,
As much as I have this like, oh, I want to be a helper. Anytime I see a car on the side of the road, I'm like, what if a bad person pulls over to help them? I should be the one to pull over to help them. But then I think, what if they are the bad person?
Yeah.
I'm not fucking
What
pulling
if
over.
they're
No.
hoping some nice lady will pull over and
Yes.
help them or offer them a
Yeah.
ride? It's super scary. I remember when my mom was I would have been 4 or 5, and my brother was a baby, and the days before cell phones, and her car broke down on the side of the highway, and
Yeah.
she was coming home from, picking us up from my grandma's house after a shift, so all she had was, like, my coloring sheet from White Spot in the car, and she, like, wrote, like, over the coloring sheet the best she could, like, I have kids in the car, I don't have a phone, like, I just wanna use your cell phone, I'm not looking to go anywhere, and no one stopped. Like,
Yeah. I
no
think,
one stopped.
listen, I understand that some things are emergencies and some things are not emergencies. But if I was stuck on the side of the road, on a road where cars were just going and going and going, especially if I had kids in the car and I didn't have a cell phone, I would have wrote call 911.
Yeah.
Because as much as I'm not dying, I
Yeah.
could if any one of these cars hit mine right now.
Yeah,
So
that's
just
true.
fucking get the police here.
Yeah.
Get someone here to help. Okay? Call
Yeah.
911.
Yeah. I agree. Finally, some, like, little old man with, like, an old work phone in his
Yeah.
car called, my dad for her, and then my dad came and picked us up, but it was not fun. Like,
Yeah.
4 hours on the side of the road with a baby, like, that sucks, and, like, you can't call my dad to say, "We're having car trouble," so he was probably worried sick for hours, like,
Right. Oh.
that's terrible, like, God, thank the aliens, I say. And, before we roll on out of here, I just wanna say thank you to our newest patron, Aaron. Thank you,
Hello,
Aaron,
Aaron.
so much for joining us, and we will send you some welcome goodies in the mail if you wanna be like Aaron and join our Patreon. We have hundreds of bonus episodes on there. Funny
Seriously.
stuff, not funny stuff, all all of the palate cleansers, all of the things. So, please consider joining us if you have a couple bucks to spare, and if you would like to support us for free, you can leave a 5-star rating and review. It really is the best way to spread the word. Recommend our show to somebody you think might like it.
Yeah.
And we're going to end on something positive as usual. Sierra, is there anything you want to tell me that you wouldn't normally get the
Yes.
chance to? I know we talked a lot
Okay.
yesterday, but
Listen, so I have not been reading lately. Talked about it on Bitch and Wine. Go find that if you want to. It's on Patreon. But so instead, I've been listening to happy podcasts again. Okay. I have listened all the way through from beginning to end, Beach to Sandy Water to Wet, at least 3 times. So I have skipped over to I need a new happy. And I am listening to, again, I don't know if you remember me telling you this forever ago, Just the Zoo of Us. It's
yes.
an animal review podcast. Okay.
Yes.
I have so many animal fun facts coming your way, but I
I
was
love it.
listening to an episode the other day from 2021, I think it was. And in at the end of this episode, Ellen and Christian Weatherford, their husband and wife, they're the ones who host, said something about yelling at people on the streets about their podcast. And I was like, it's catching on. We're not the only ones who say that.
And when we started in 2021 too, that's what we were
That's
saying.
so funny.
I love
I
it.
was so excited to hear them say that.
You're like, "Wait a second, have you heard an episode of our podcast?"
Yeah.
That's cool. Ellen's been on Nick's show, Tennish,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
before. That's how I heard of Just the Zoo of Us to begin with.
I heard of Just the Zoo of Us because of that group that I'm in, the Wild Green Memes for Ecological Fiends on Facebook,
Yes.
that I bring all the crazy fun facts to. She's in that group as well.
It
So, yeah.
perfect. I love it. No, we're animal lovers on the show, and that is a very cute show. It's family
It
friendly,
is so cute.
adorable. I've learned more than I ever could learn about certain
Yeah.
insects, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Bugs matter. Bugs matter. Like that mosquitoes have 47 teeth. Don't like
Ew.
that. don't like that at all.
Mm-mm.
But something that I wanted to tell you is about this mug.
Okay.
So, it says mornings aren't pretty and it's Minnie Mouse. And I was 13 years old when we went to Disneyland, and I loved Minnie Mouse, and pink is my favorite color, so I fell in love with this mug. I thought it was hilarious. So my dad bought it for me. Then I had it for years. I used it every day. When I moved out with my ex, who was my abuser, I brought it with me because I had a couple of my own mugs, so I brought that with me. And when I got out of the relationship, how I got out of the apartment was that I chucked this mug at the side of his head because I had been holding it,
Mm.
and it broke. The handle on it broke, but I still took it with me when I eventually moved out. I had it in the back of the cupboard for years and years and years and years. But as you can't really glue a handle together because it's not going to really be structurally sound at that point. So I never used the mug. And Kevin was like going through our mug cupboard because him and I have been really into tea lately. And he was like, "Why are you keeping this? Like, it's broken. You never use it." And I told him the story. And I was like, and it's also sentimental because my dad bought it for me. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a symbol of strength for me as well. So that fucker, I have no idea how, for Valentine's Day, found this mug somewhere in the Netherverse. I don't know if they have like a retro Disney store and bought it for me. So I have a new old one, and the handle is intact. So
That is amazing.
I
Also,
buried a
this
good one.
reminds me, you did, you really, really did. This reminds
Spiel
me of
theory, Schwarzenspiel theory.
my, yes, this reminds me of my child, Sissy, when she was little. My grandma made her a blanket that had her name stitched on it. And this was her fucking blankie, okay? You never saw her without it. One time she left it at a fucking hotel.
Oh
And so
no.
I got on eBay with a picture, or I got on Facebook or something with a picture of it, like, please help me find this. And someone posted a
Yeah,
link to eBay. Here you go. There it is on eBay. And I bought another one. Like, things are out there. And that's
it's a
probably how
wild
he
time.
found that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But how much effort that is for him to be like, I'm going to search for this. I'm going to fucking find it and I'm going to get it. Like,
A
that is
mug
amazing.
that's 17 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool, and then I threw out the other one. So it was a little freeing too. So I thought
Yeah.
that was cool. So that's my something
That's
happy, my
awesome.
story. And remember, guys, that you got this. Even if you look like this getting up in the morning, it's fine. I'll post a picture with this episode. She's a whole vibe. She's a whole vibe. But yeah, I love you guys lots. I love Sierra. We're gonna roll on out of here because she's sleepy and yawning and
Mm-hmm.
drinking her decaf coffee. And I am gonna go probably finish a quart of Silver Flames.
Nice.
We will see you next week for Sierra's.
Oh, I haven't decided yet.
Okay, to be
Probably
determined.
haunted, but I'm thinking about conspiracy. Listen, I've got a lot of things in my mind. TBD.
TBD. And in the meantime,
Keep it twisted.
Twisted and Uncorked is a proud member of Weirding Way Media. Hosted and produced by Sierra Zorn and Alicia Watson. If you like the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening now. It really is the best way to spread the word. You can check out all things Twisted on our website, twistedanduncorked.com, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode.